Dorsey's Music World. They're singing in history and musical literacy. Mr. Dorsey's Music World. We're living the dream starts here.
Hi, and welcome to Mr. Dorsey's Music World, 5th grade music literacy lesson number 1. For those of you who are brand new to Mr. Dorsey's Music World, whether it's on YouTube or WCNY, welcome. I'm glad you could join me. And to my Seymour students, I'm so glad to have you back for another year. Let's go. Our big idea, or the artistic way, is performing, but we're also going to do a little responding and creating as well. Our process, which is the steps to get to your goal, is analyze and interpret, which means look closely at something, let's figure out what it does, and then what do you do with it? Our objective, what are you going to do, is I can read and understand syncopa rhythms, the 8th note, quarter note, 8th note rhythm. And our method, which is how are we going to do it, we're going to do it by performing, listening, and reading notation. We're also going to create a little bit. Okay, all I want you to do right now is listen to this song, okay? Funga a la fia, ashe, ashe. 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 Ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Funga a la fia, ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Funga a la fia, ashe, ashe. In case you didn't figure it out, the song's called Funga a la fia. A lot of people think this song comes from Western Africa, mostly from the country of Nigeria, because the 3 words in it come from the Yoruba language, which is spoken over there. However, it was actually written in New York City by famous drummer and dancer LaRock Bay. Echo after me. Funga a la fia. Ashe, ashe. Funga a la fia. Ashe, ashe. And you repeat that 2 times. Now here's the second part of the song. Echo after me. Ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Funga a la fia. Ashe, ashe. And you repeat that part twice. Okay, here's the next step. Let's sing it together, but I also want you to clap the rhythm of what you're singing while we do it, like this. Funga a la fia. Like that. All right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, sing. Funga a la fia. Ashe, ashe. Funga a la fia, ashe, ashe. Funga a la fia, ashe, ashe. Funga a la fia, ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Funga a la fia, ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe. Funga a la fia, ashe, ashe. All right, next step. What we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the lyrics and we're going to say the rhythm using syllables and clap it. Now, the syllables I'm going to use, these are what I do with my students at Seymour. Your teachers may use different syllables, or they may use numbers, or they may not use anything at all. That's okay, because there's many right answers. There's many right ways to do this. So you do the way you feel comfortable. We're going to echo this, so in case you want to use my syllables for today, you can. All right? Here we go. Echo after me. Cinco patatita. Cinco pata. Cinco patatita. Cinco pata. Okay, then we would do that twice. Here's the second part, or the B part, all right? That was the A part. Here's the B part. Cinco pata. Cinco pata. Cinco patatita. Cinco pata. I know you noticed this because you're very smart, but there are only 2 rhythms in that song. There are only 2 rhythm patterns, all right? There is cinco patatita, try it with me, cinco patatita, and then there is cinco pata. Those are the 2 rhythms in that song. That's it. Next step is I'm going to teach you some other rhythm patterns that have syncopa in it, and you just echo after me, all right? So I'll start with the 2 we know, and then I'm going to do a couple more. Here we go. Cinco patatita. Cinco pata. Cinco patata. Cinco patata. Cinco patati tati. Cinco patati tati. All right, last step before we move on into reading the music that we've been looking at is we're going to create and we're going to improvise, which is creating spontaneously, which means we're not going to write it down. We're not going to like, oh, I'm going to do this one first, this one second. You're just going to make it up on the spot. So we're going to do a quick little activity here. I'm going to say a rhythm. You try to say a different rhythm back to me. So if I go cinco patata, you're going to go cinco patatita, or any rhythm you want. Any rhythm, okay? There's no wrong answers here. Here we go. Cinco patata. Cinco patatita. Cinco patatitati. Cinco pata. Now we're going to make the connection from what it looks like to what it sounds like. Since we've already sung a song with this rhythm in it, and we've analyzed and interpreted it, all right, we've taken it apart and see how it's put together. Now let's take a look at what it looks like. Now, let's take a look at our prior knowledge. So what you see up on the screen right now is the rhythms you should already know in order to do syncopa. If you're a student in the Syracuse City School District, you're going to get a reference sheet that has this information as well as other information you're going to need to know in order to do the activities at home. If you're not a student in the Syracuse City School District, that's okay. If you go to my website, mrdorseymusic.weebly.com, I will have the prior knowledge you need to know up next to the lesson. Here are the 4 rhythms that we learned how to perform earlier. So let's look at number 1, and I'll say it and you echo it. Cinco patatita. Cinco patatita. Here's number 2. Cinco pata. Cinco pata. And here's number 3. Cinco patata. Cinco patata. And here's the last one, number 4. Cinco patati tati. Cinco patati tati. Now let's try them together at the same time. So let's do number 1 together. 1, 2, ready and go. Cinco patatita. Let's try number 2. 1, 2, ready and go. Cinco pata. Let's try number 3. 1, 2, ready and go. Cinco patata. And let's try number 4. 1, 2, ready and go. Cinco patati tati. Now our last activity for today, let's put it all together. So let's read 1, followed by 2, 3, and 4 without stopping. Okay? 1, 2, ready and go. Cinco patatita, cinco pata, cinco patata, cinco patatitati. Let's look at the syncopa rhythm. We have our first rhythm syllable is an eighth note. Now we've seen eighth notes before, but usually when they're next to each other, they're connected by a beam. These two eighth notes are not connected to each other because there's a quarter note in between. So, to differentiate, to make sure that we know that it's an eighth note and not a quarter note, we put this, a flag next to it. So the eighth note is 1/2 of a beat. The quarter note, as we already know, is one sound that lasts 1 beat, and the eighth note on the end is also a 1/2 a beat. So if you count the note heads, there are 3 sounds. 1 plus a half equals 2 beats. So it fits in 2 beats. So thinking about how it sounded, was that an even sound or an uneven sound? Well, of course it was an uneven sound. Cinco pa. Cinco pa. Say it with me. Cinco pa. Cinco pa. Okay, let's finish up. Let's go back to our learning goal. Our big idea was performing. Our process was analyze and interpret. Our objective was I can read and understand syncopa rhythms. And how are we going to do it? Our method was performing, listening, and reading notation. Let's assess or grade ourselves on how we're doing. Let's look at the 3 questions. Can I perform the rhythms correctly? Can I identify the rhythm symbols? Can I explain what the rhythm symbols do? If you answered yes to all 3 questions and you think you can teach it to someone else, you're an expert. You're ready for the next challenge. If you answered yes to all 3 questions, you're a practitioner. Your next step is, can you explain it to someone? Because that'll bring you to the next level. If you answered yes to 1 or 2 questions, you're an apprentice. Your next step is to pick 1 question you answered no to and work on that for next time. And if you're just starting to learn this, which we all are at some point, you're in the novice category. Ask your teacher for more information. That's it for today, everybody. I hope you learned something. I hope you had a lot of fun. And let's keep making music. Until next time, take care.
Mr. Dorsey's Music World. We're singing in history and musical literacy. Mr. Dorsey's Music World. We're living the dream starts here.